Ebusuafo konkonku TV so ne ne sabri ade ta asofo mani apai o den aba na de pantoma chen da zanse ne ka se o ebi speaker of parliament no manyamfo abankens for man bagbin ebe ka se o akato na broni ekoto abantu de consideration bi beba nanso empanyi si de onim de won se de ade nda so wan fanto efri to enti sabri wagina 1992 kwatitu shi ne so atima declare 4 seats vacant abedam pine sabre hun se ma edre haruna drisu the petition de come speaker and ogina so hwehwemu a ya ba be arrive e was apartwe na senia ayi Afenyo Markin ni ayem prepare ni senia wadwada ni koko apai papa na atofo senso ne dom se wo me yekese wo mo so wo mo ni age papa ni nyina wa ha na sabre ye tia so de ama wabusua wabra wode hye ohima Elizabeth gongo ko ma chichi mi ho madwam ya sabre ma de adwa me den se ne nyina esom wo yenkɔ ne ntentem na Speaker of Parliament no manyamfo abankens for man abagban na nu ne na kane edomkuma no ba no deni tamale South MP ono manyamfo had na drisu eke adundum be jaye de betudwa o kan rally ase e ka se na wotwe wo mi benada parliament transfer de sase ne beko asa grasa mpasa na ni brese makumbungu MP kura e be ka se mai we die bo modern se die be presa ne ma we agu babi na fa common sense apra ni ntumi nkodi winner no cap na ne hia ye sa papa ye ni abre no de petition come speaker say enipa wo mudidi zone manyamfo Andrew Asiama Amoako ono former MP owura parliament as an independent candidate as he say we second deputy speaker na oye second deputy speaker ena onipa foforo bia ono so eka ho ensemi mu eye Mami Cynthia Mamre Morrison ono so Aguna East MP then MP basese wokọ kwantenkro wa wini premise ni so wose wokọ kwantenkro edwa kodwa asante suhum ono so se wokọ kwantenkro nipa mienu ambo sisi MPP fo NNDC ni ba konso ka ho Amanfi Central Peter Kwache aka ono so ese wokọ kwantenkro enti sa city na harina drisu person na speaker and declare vacant sanse ye hese na niema siko na ye hwe 1992 no mu constitution no mu na yekotu atekre 97 na uhwemu anache se safo yi wo matomra wudu obi din enewura parliament ba ne se na se de wo so awro nsa free se nipa kro ne din huntu de wa wato ho de anache se uni nipa kro ni twakan bi apam bi anim ntem biem moto nkwanta mapai sa na tie de a ene na se yetumi ma akwanya da ho se ne se adwa yi nso abede dampan abuzo no na aye me ne da dua yi enwumre ya hyehyehyehyehye no manyamfo abankens for man abagban speaker of parliament say kane majority anu omoye 138 say yate miense free so ma ababa 135 edonkuma no nso omo so ba ko atie free menam odumanyamfo akanti say omo ababa 136 ndi say majority na kwa kodi NDC afa NDC 136 MPs na wo ho NMPP so 135 na speaker ensem o kan ni etire yen so ene a wobete no abra na speaker ne atofo sen pre so den atofo sen so o makwan o mabaga ma speaker mfana ni munye fa onya kwada obetire fie wo ma na ni ntira na ni to da speaker we die si ya ba two people bi atu table so fa ekokosi ensem se bebre abusua enya nguma na wankasa wutie se ne ensem sitie na se die apai se ta ene ade gbum.
Honorable members, it is important to point out that the Speaker is called upon by the standing orders of Parliament, particularly Order 18, to inform the House of the occurrence of a vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B to E, G, and H of Article 97 of the Constitution. Accordingly, I proceed to inform the House that by the notification of the polls, the following members of Parliament have by their actions vacated their seats in Parliament. The members are Honorable Peter Yao Kwache Aka, NDC MP for Amenfi Central in the Western region, now referred to as an independent parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. 2, Honorable Andrew Amwako Asiama, independent member for Fomna constituency in Ashanti region, now referred to as MPP parliamentary candidate for the constituency. 3, Honorable Kojo Asante, MPP MP for Suhum in the Eastern region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. And finally, Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, MPP MP for Agona West constituency in the Central region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this House any longer. The House is accordingly so informed.
Mr. Speaker, I do not come under any standing orders.
So you may resume your seat then.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you are the father of this House. Mr. Speaker, you have communicated to the House a position you've taken. It's been our practice that any time you have come out with a formal communication, you give opportunity to leadership to make a response. Mr. Speaker, if today you do not want me to talk, Mr. Speaker, that should be it. But Mr. Speaker, if you say that...
Honorable member, you got it wrong. It's not the practice of the House that any time I come with a formal communication, I allow members to make comments. That's not the practice of the House. It's never been the practice of any of the houses that I have been member from 1993 to date. I have not had that as any practice of the House. Some speakers, including myself, may entertain some comments from members, but it is not a practice of the House.
Mr. Speaker, if it pleases you, I would like to make some few comments on the matters you've raised, because, Mr. Speaker, these are very grave matters. The matters you've raised are not light matters. They are very grave matters that I would want to comment. And, Mr. Speaker,
so please, you want to seek my leave to make comments?
That is so, respectfully.
Now you agree it's not the practice.
Mr. Speaker, you are seeking my leave. Mr. Speaker, as it pleases you, with your leave. With your leave.
Well, yes, you may do so.
Mr. Speaker, thank you once again for the leave granted me to comment on your communication you just delivered. Mr. Speaker, you underscored your submissions with a very important point, that the matter that came before us has interpretation reliefs, and that you do not have the power to interpret the Constitution, and that your duty is to enforce. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable member, you are not listening to me.
Mr. Speaker, may I finish with respect?
All what you said are wrong, so I cannot continue to allow you to keep on misleading the House.
Mr. Speaker, please, if you think that this is your House and you didn't want us to talk, so Mr. Speaker, we should have...
Honorable Majority Leader, you are addressing the Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, you may... Please. I need your protection. They must stop what they are doing.
I'm in charge.
Mr. Speaker, then they may be quiet.
Please.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, in your ruling, my understanding was to the effect that your duty is not to interpret the Constitution. My understanding was to the effect that your duty is not to interpret the Constitution. But, Mr. Speaker, it is important for me to emphasize one more time that when the statement was made by my respected colleague, Dr. Kesil Atufose, I did draw the attention of the House, including your good self, to the effect that the matter being a very grave matter, I have taken it upon myself to seek a court's interpretation of the matter. Mr. Speaker, indeed. Mr. Speaker, I think
Honorable
I deserve
members,
some respect.
please,
Mr. Speaker,
let's listen
I think
to
I
each other.
deserve some respect.
Let's listen to each other.
No, I think it is only fair.
Honorable Majority Leader, please address me. I'm taking care of that. Please,
Mr.
let's
Speaker,
listen to each other.
I did indicate that I have filed a process at the Supreme Court. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, the bailiff of the court had attempted to serve the process on the Director of Legal Affairs, and the Director of Legal Affairs and the entire legal directorate refused service because, according to them, there was a circular stating that they can only be served on Mondays. I saw the circular myself. Subsequent to that, hearing the intention of Mr. Speaker to come to a determination in one way or the other, the directed service, which is within my rights. Mr. Speaker, yesterday,
But you are the majority leader and the leader of this House. As at the time you were directing service yourself, you took the trouble of coming to Parliament with two persons who are alleged to be bailiffs and went to the legal office to yourself, directing officials of the legal office to receive the service. You are a member of Parliament. I am the Speaker. It is my duty to protect your privileges and immunities. In doing so, I had a discussion with the Chief Justice, and we came to an understanding that in the meantime, the Chief Justice will issue a directive as to how service of members of Parliament, some officers of Parliament, and the Speaker could be effected. I communicated this to the House and discussed it with you, the leaders. We said that as we go along, we will together, Parliament and the judiciary, particularly led by the Supreme Court, come out with a legislation on this issue of privileges and immunities of Parliament, members of Parliament, and specified officials of Parliament. We discussed this. Based on this discussion, the Chief Justice issued a directive to all registries of courts in the country. And it is stated clearly there that the Speaker can be served on Mondays during working hours. There were reasons why we came to those agreements. You are aware of it. Yet you kept on insisting that service be effected whilst the Speaker was presiding over the proceedings of the House. You, as leader of the House, as majority leader, you are saying that this was service because you threw the court processes on the table and walked away. Is that how you effect service? Please, to quote the common parlance, don't go there.
With respect, for the past 12 years, I have accorded you every respect, and I'll continue to do that. Mr. Speaker, the facts you put out are not true. Mr. Speaker, These are credibility issues, so I will respond for the record. Mr. Speaker, somebody has told you something. Mr. Speaker, you reserve the right to be there to make your point. Let me make my point too. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, whoever told you, Mr. Speaker, whoever told you that I threw a paper at somebody, this has to do with my credibility. I will not allow hands.
Honorable member, you don't listen at all.
Mr. Speaker, I do.
I never said you.
Mr. Speaker, you said
I never said you threw a paper at anybody.
Mr. Speaker,
I never said that.
That's exactly what you said. Let the answer check it. Mr. Speaker, that is what you said.
You are being carried away by your anger. You are not listening.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not angry.
Honorable member. Honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not angry.
I said the court process was thrown on the table in the office. I never stated it was thrown by you at any person.
Mr. Speaker, you said I allegedly said some bailiffs.
No.
Mr. Speaker, then clarify. Mr. Speaker,
listen to me.
Mr. Speaker, listen.
Honorable Majority Leader, I don't want to proceed to make some orders. Please, resume your seat. I'm very serious about that.
Mr. Speaker,
please, resume your seat.
Events cast their shadows. We have Parliament now, elect with the executive.